take a listen to this style of music goes música de arpa grande or música planeca. So this music, it's it has the same type of call and response that we see in mariachi. Like a singer sings a lead, and then we have people like responding to them in this back and forth. And we also have that hemiola, that combination, that polyrhythmic combination of a duple rhythm, and a triple rhythm together, playing 2 against 3, in that very typical about this music, so very, very close to each other. They also have the same titles of songs, that they have the Planeco version and the mariachi version, the Jalisco version, etc. Okay, let's keep moving. This is one of the groups the best known from the Apatzingan, and a lot of the men who play this music have migrated to the United States, mostly Northern California. And some of the best players, if you are looking for the best music from Planeco, if you go to Apatzingan, you won't find any of it. You have to go to San Jose, California, to find some of the best players up there. And they only come back on the holidays, for the special fiestas down in Michoacan. So this group is called Arpex, and they're up in San Francisco, and they're recorded for Smithsonian Recording. They're great keepers of this music. Okay, so you remember this map I showed you before. We're going to go to Tierra Caliente. There's this river, Tepalcatepec, this red line right here, meets with another river that comes from Guerrero, actually divides Guerrero and Michoacan, and it's called the Rio Balsas. And we have cities like Ciudad Altamirano in Guerrero and Huetamo in Michoacan. And in this yellow region right here, we have a style called the Calentano, from the Tierra Caliente. So the hot lands of Mexico. Tierra Caliente, son Calentano. In that music, let's play a little sample from there. What we're going to see here is a different instrumentation. We still have the fiddle, guitar, and we have this little drum called the tamborita. It's a double skin drum that is carrying the rhythm. So we're in the Planeco region, they were tapping on the harp. There's no harp here. They'll tap on this little drum. Let's listen.
Dime morenita mía, dime si no me has de amar como los marineritos que navegan en el mar. Dime morenita mía, dime si no me has de amar como los marineritos que navegan.
Okay, we got a little taste of that. There's a little more. We're going to move to the state of Guerrero, to the Costa Chica. And now we're getting into territory where the this region was populated during the 1840s. I mean, it's been populated for a long time, but there was a migration from South America during the gold rush in the United States in the late 1840s. There was a report that a lot of gold had been found in California. So that not only brought the pioneers from eastern United States trekking across the America looking for that gold, but it also brought people from China. It also brought people from South America. And in South America, blacks were emancipated along with independence in the 1820s. So there were skilled miners who were of African descent who decided to work their way up to California. And along the way, they stopped in Mexico. Of course, many of them did not find all that gold that was claimed to be found in California. But they did find silver in the Costa Chica region. So they stayed in here. And to this day, they form one of Mexico's most recent African migrations and population in Mexico. So there's a number of various shades of blackness in this part of Mexico. And the music that they brought from South America, from Chile, were the marineras from the Peru and Chile, which in Mexico became called chilenas because it came from Chile. So here's a style, one of these Afro-Mexican songs. They're called El Pato.
Porque vivo entre los secos, patito. A mí me nombran el pato, patito, porque vivo entre los secos, patito. Luego que me ven venir, patito, ya viene el pato culeco, patito. Luego que me ven venir, patito, ya viene el pato culeco, patito. Ay, laray, patito. Ay, laray, patito. Ay, laray, patito. Ay, laray, patito. Luego que me ven venir, patito, ya viene el pato culeco, patito. Luego que me ven venir, patito, ya viene el pato culeco, patito.
Great, wonderful music. We're gonna move to Oaxaca now, to the Istmo de Tehuantepec. We have el son ismeño. So, by the way, the son is a very generic word for a lot of secular danceable music, and it doesn't really define any particular style until you add the regional. So you have son huasteco in the Huasteca, you have son calentano in the Tierra Caliente. So now son ismeño comes from the Istmo de Tehuantepec region in Oaxaca. So in here we have a variety of instruments. Let's take a look at the couple. I mean, we have this kind of music done with guitar. This is the mediushiga. Then we also have orchestras in Oaxaca, and this is an example of that. Not the same as the Sinaloa style. There's a lot more brass in Sinaloa, and this is more like woodwind heavy. So there are differences in the regional styles of band, the orchestras. This is a traditional dress from the Tehuantepec also, and then Let's make a stop in Tabasco. Now we're going to cross to the Gulf of Mexico here briefly. In Tabasco, we have this style called the tamborileros. You know, these are double-headed drums also, and this little tiny flute, you know, that really cuts through all these drums. This is what it sounds like, the música de tamborileros. They're also playing a tortoiseshell on the belly of the tortoiseshell. And there's the shakers and the flute. I could listen to this for a long time, but now let's go to Chiapas. Okay, Chiapas is the southern and easternmost state of Mexico that borders with Guatemala. Also very heavy on the Mayan culture. And this is a little map that we did once when we did a music geography of Chiapas at UNAM. We had an invitation from the Chiapas government. And, you know, there's enough music for an entire hour from everywhere here. But one of the instruments that is very popular here, well, here's pictures of the various indigenous groups from Chiapas. Again, very spiritual music. And I'm going to skip through some of the spiritual music to play something more on the marimba, because it's a little different from other stuff we've been listening to. So this recording is actually from my band, from Sones de Mexico Ensemble. Okay, just a little taste of music from Chiapas. Let's go to Yucatan. In Yucatan, we have also some brass bands. But there's many styles of music as well. But we're going to focus on this style of music from called jaranas from Yucatan, and also another type of wind ensembles. And this music has a little bit of a Caribbean flavor to it as well, because Yucatan is so close to the British Isles, and also to the Caribbean, the Cuba and Jamaica, Puerto Rico, etc. So here's a little taste. That's a little taste of Mexican music there too, huh? So we also have this other style. This is also from Yucatan and very different sounding. Let's check a look. little, little organ there. And in the state of Campeche, you know, right next to Yucatan, we have this style of music here. Some people call this chunchacas. It's the style of music, chunchacas. Okay, so now we're going to we're going to end our trip in Veracruz, and hopefully we'll have a few minutes for questions after this. But Veracruz has had a very strong folk music revival in the last 30 years or so of the son jarocho style. We have a lot of young people learning to play this music. Here's a friend of ours playing the tambourine. This guitar here is called a jarana, which is one of the strumming instruments for the style. There, we also have harp. This is a bass instrument called a leona. And here are some ensembles playing this music. So I'm going to play a song that you'll recognize. Well, maybe you won't at first, but I'm going to play 3 versions of La Bamba. So everyone's heard of La Bamba, but this is maybe one of the more rural style ways of playing La Bamba. So.
Y en la bamba, señores, y en la bamba, señores, la melodía que nos pone en el alma, que nos pone en el alma dulce alegría y arriba y arriba, ay arriba y arriba y arriba iré, yo no soy marinero, yo no soy marinero, por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré.
Okay, so here's one that you might recognize a little more. This has harp in it. This is from Veracruz.
Para bailar la bamba se necesita una poca de gracia y otra cosita y arriba, arribita y arriba y arriba y yo no soy marinero por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré.
And of course, so Richie Valens was a descendant of immigrants from Veracruz in Los Angeles, and he once heard some jarocho musicians, Andres Huesca, who spent some time in Los Angeles, and he incorporated this song that he heard in the 50s, you know, into rock and roll. So that's what happened. So that was our music geography of Mexico. Here's all the map and all the places we visited. Thank you very much. Hopefully take a couple questions from anybody.
What is the representation of women amongst musicians, traditional music in Mexico?
Well, yeah, in Mexico, it's you know, the music musicianship is a traditionally a male dominated world. There are places where music would be played that are mostly you know, bars and dives where, you know, women are not safe or whatever. And but that has changed, you know, that in modern times has changed. And like I mentioned in the mariachis, with the Mexican immigrants in the United States is certainly changing. There's a lot of women involved in the jarocho revival and music revivals in the Huasteca region, in the Tierra Caliente region. We now see women picking up instruments, participating, learning this music in alternative places like in schools and conservatories and workshops. You don't no longer have to go to these CD places to to learn this music. Now, women have always had a participation in music in certain roles as singers, for instance. Women have always been involved in music as singers or in dancing to the music. But as instrumentalists, I think it's more of a recent development. Good question.
Juan, you covered a lot about how brass and strings came to certain regions of Mexico, but there was a question about German polka becoming part of conjunto. Conjunto. How did that migration occur?
Well, Mexico was populated in many ways. It was everyone just talks about the Spaniards arriving in Veracruz in 1521, and that's that. But Mexico was actually populated in many ways through many inroads from different parts of the world. So northern Mexico was populated by people from Central Europe coming through that area. Also, we have immigrations from China, from in Mexico. We have immigrants from many places in the world. Jewish immigration, Black immigration. We talked about the one in the West Coast, but there was also immigration, across the Atlantic. With slavery at one point. The one in the West Coast was not a result of slavery. There were free miners, but all the interaction between Yucatan and the Caribbean. There's workers during World War II coming in from the English-speaking Caribbean into that part of Mexico to harvest the rubber that they used for tires and stuff for the war effort, and bubble gum too that came from that area.
Juan, just to ask really quickly, so non-Spanish speakers who have a desire to get to know music, Mexican music, more at its core, what advice would you have for them? Other than learning to speak Spanish.
Well, here in Chicago, we have, was one of the reasons we founded Sones de Mexico Ensemble was precisely to bring make this music more accessible to more people. So yes, we have a music school where we teach this music. We have an ensemble that performs this music. So you can go to sonesdemexico.com and find out about our various activities. We don't have a lot of concerts right at this very moment, but we hope that, to come back to that as well. But we have 6 albums in the market. So we have some films coming out soon. We have a YouTube channel with a lot of videos and lots of educational programming.